Hi, I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler. I've lived in New Jersey the majority of my life. I've lived in the Hillsborough, Montgomery, New Jersey area for over 30 years. I love living here. The area has maintained its country feel while having the conveniences of a more urban area. I look forward to sharing why I love the area and the local businesses. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler, Realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty, and I'm here today with Nirmala Rajesh and Raj Nathan. Nirmala and Raj are the owners of
Sruthiswara School.
Thank you.
Welcome, you're welcome.
I practice that and I just messed it up, but whatever. The school provides Indian classical vocal and instrumental instruction for both adults as well as children. And I've been looking forward to this interview to learn more about both Nirmala and Raj and their school and how they, have created the school with the focus. They have a pretty strong mission on what they're trying to accomplish. So we'll talk about that. But thanks for joining me, to both of you. So why don't we start? Why don't both of you describe your business?
Sure. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So we're in the business of providing formal instruction in Indian classical music to interested students, children and adults alike. And we provide this instruction both in vocal and instrumental music, as you mentioned, and to children and adults and of all levels and capabilities.
So that makes sense. Talk a little bit about the why, like how you both got involved with music, because that's, I assume, the first step.
Yep.
And then, why did you choose the teaching aspect of music?
Well, I grew up in a culture where music is just part of the whole culture as such. So not everybody takes that as a passion and as a career, but I decided to do that. I did my bachelor's in music, and after coming over here, this was in India. I was born and raised in India, and that's where music is just part of the culture. And I did my bachelor's, and then after getting married, I came over here, and I was teaching because it's my passion. I started learning when I was 5, and I think I started performing on stage when I was 10, if I remember.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was just a part of my passion. I wanted to learn music. I wanted to teach them. I have to. I thought that I have this huge responsibility after coming here as I'm ambassador of my culture. I have a huge responsibility to take this over to the next generation. That's when the whole thing started.
Awesome. I am the product of immigrants as well, from a different part of the world. But that whole bringing the culture was always important in my family. But you see, as the generations happen, it starts. So I think that's a noble, focus.
Right. But it's completely different with his case.
She and I have very different backgrounds in a sense, because although we're part of the same culture, she was born and raised in India. I was born and raised here. And so there's been an interest, of my parents, as there is with the parents of most children, who are in a similar situation, to want to bring their children up to understand and appreciate and respect Indian culture and traditions, the heritage, right? And the music is certainly a very big component of all that. And so I come from a family of music lovers, and I guess it was, part genetics that I experienced this kind of affinity myself, in music. I developed a very strong interest and a passion for this, style of music right from very young. I was exposed to it through my parents, who set up formal music classes for me right from around 7 years of age. But then I began to naturally develop the interest and the inclination for it myself, and wanted to, further my interest in it. So it just it evolved very naturally.
Oh, that's
yeah,
that's awesome.
It keeps me going to this day.
So do both of you play the same instruments?
No, we sing. We do vocal music, but I play instrument.
Okay, gotcha. So You talked about the why from a focus with music.
Mm-hmm.
Why starting the business? Why start a business? Because starting a business is difficult.
Right.
If it's not someone's 100% focus,
Right.
not going to make it.
Yeah, no, it's just it takes so much time and
Yeah.
effort, and you need to have the urge to do it.
Yeah. So was it the urge because you love music, or talk a little bit about the why?
Right. Do you want to go? I mean, I was teaching when I came here in 2006.
Yeah.
I started teaching right away, and I was a lot of kids who in the local neighborhood, they came over, and because there was not that many teachers back then here.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents were actually looking forward for a music teacher who would basically teach Indian classical music.
Right.
So I started teaching. I was teaching back, 2006. I started here in 2006, and I've been teaching all through to 2016, right?
Well, she had been teaching actually in India.
In India too.
Before she even married me and came here, she had been already an established music teacher where she resided in India.
Right.
So she just carried that over and began teaching students locally here.
So how did you get the word out?
So that's when I came here, we had family and friends around.
Yeah.
We meet people, new friends, especially from Indian background. And this area particularly have a lot of Indian community.
Yep.
So we just word of mouth, and that's how it started off initially. And in 2016, it's when I was working back then as well. I was working full time, and also I was doing music, and something was missing in part of me.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't happy with what I was doing. Maybe I should explore something that I really wanted to do, something my interest, my passion. That's when it started. We talked about maybe we should start a school legally, register it, and then legally start as a music school, so it could be able to reach more people, and then that's all. It all started, and then that's when we decided to name it as Sruthiswara School of Music, because Shruti is my daughter.
That's cool.
So
I figured it was someone's name.
Yeah. So it's also a musical term.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we named her Shruti, because it's a musical term, and then it would be appropriate to name a school with that name.
Yep.
So we picked Sruthiswara. Swara is also a musical term, and then that's when it's all started, 2016, and this is 5th year.
That's awesome.
With the name as such.
And I mean, having a formal music school like this that gives the branding, it promotes more recognition and visibility from the community, and from that point we were also able to establish a more structured curriculum, for what we would follow for all of our students. So we had all those kinds of advantages that came with institutionalizing, our music school.
That makes sense. So what surprised you most about, because you've been teaching for a very long time, but what's the, I always ask this question to business owners, what surprised you most about owning your own business? Like for me, the amount of work and the need to really put balance, guardrails around your life has been key for me. So how about for you guys?
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's exactly it. It is a lot of work. There's a lot more work than either of us had anticipated at first.
Yeah.
Right. I guess with establishing a formal school like this, I mean, you have to meet all of the requirements from a reporting perspective, right? But then aside from that, it's establishing the curriculum. It's being able to decide on what songs or what sort of exercises are going to be taught to which group of students, and you have to constantly be planning this ahead and on a daily basis, because we take classes between the two of us 6 or even all 7 days a week.
Wow.
So
with really your other job.
Yes, exactly, right? Yeah.
Right,
So
this is crazy.
This is not what I do full time.
Right?
I mean, I have a day job, but then this is something that I have to carve out time for.
Yeah.
Outside of that. And this has become a full-time job for my wife, apart from raising a family as well. So it's it definitely eats up a lot of your time. You have to constantly plan ahead. You have to plan out the assignments for classes throughout the week. And then aside from that, there are also performance opportunities that come up from time to time as well. Not only do we prepare our own students in the music school for performance opportunities that we make available to them. But then my wife is also involved in performing in the community.
Yeah.
She gets invited to come and perform either vocally or playing violin at things like dance recitals, or giving concerts or other kinds of stage performances. And so that requires an adequate amount of time, as I'm sure you can appreciate, in selecting the pieces and putting in all the practice time, rehearsal time,
Exactly.
driving to rehearsals.
And now, we just did our annual day event last week. I mean, things like that, we have to plan at least months ahead of time.
Right.
And after COVID, when everything is virtual, so we had to be active in social media as well, posting some of the performances, videos. I mean, every week we started off this initiative of, just having a chat with the students, something like a musical chat. Some new things that we initiated. So all these things it just keeps us very busy, and it's just we didn't anticipate this. It just came along.
Yeah.
The business.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow. Exactly.
So every organization has their mission or their vision. So why don't you describe a little bit for the audience so they better understand the school, what your mission is?
Well, our mission really is to provide a personalized learning environment in Indian classical music to all of our students. And what we mean by that is that we can't teach any two students in the same way. We naturally can't teach them the same material.
Right.
Because, as I mentioned before, our students span a range of ages and different abilities, and they're all at different levels. They come to us that way, and they progress at different speeds, while they're a student of our school. So we have to cater to each individual student's natural talents and abilities. And so that's what we mean by providing them with an individualized plan and instruction for music. But we also want them to, aside from learning the theory and the practical aspects of the style of music, to develop an understanding and appreciation of Indian heritage itself, and to allow them to maintain close ties with their Indian culture. I mean, that's the same sort of thing that was done for me, right? Because as I mentioned before, I was born and raised here, and so it is those kind of values and the ties to the Indian culture that my parents were insistent on, wanting me to adopt, and through music when I was growing up. So it's ironic that I'm now in a position where I'm able to impart those same kind of values to children who are in the same, boat as I was.
And you understand them better because you went through
it's
it.
totally relatable, right? Because they're going through the same thing that I did as somebody growing up in this country. So
Exactly. I agree to his point. I think he would be a good example for the students as well, to look up and say, okay, I mean, I have somebody here, my teacher was born and raised here just like me.
Yeah.
Who was able to take up music, and now he's literally running a school, a director of a school.
Yeah.
I could do this if I'm really passionate about it.
Yep.
And just a love towards music, and
I can
do this. We want that feeling to the students who were in our school to get it. Like, you're not learning this for a year or for two. I mean, once you are in it, you see that, okay, I think I can do this. I think maybe this is my passion. And then we wanted literally them to take over this to maybe 50 years down the line. You could be a teacher,
right?
Or you could own a school like us,
right?
So I think that's huge. I mean, we wanted to, when we think about, okay, we are going to be developing the next generation of musical artists, it's huge.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's also a pride for us, we are building a legacy here, we are, as a torch bearer for the next, generation to come. I think it's huge.
That's wonderful. So, both of you, talk about what's been your most positive instructor experience.
I think when the kids say, I really like music, or when we see them sing and perform, I think that's the best, reward for us. I think it's just little things like this. We have kids ranging from 5-year-old to 50-year-old.
Oh,
We
wow.
have adults, yes. We have adults taking classes as well. So, when we look back and see, a 5-year-old performing and a 50-year-old taking this as a passion, at the age of 50, and it's just for yourself. I have 50-year-old saying that, okay, I'm just learning this for myself at this age. I just want a peaceful time for myself.
Yeah.
I think music can give me that. So, when I look back, I'm teaching a 5-year-old who's also performing and saying, I really like music and I wanted to sing, and a 50-year-old who's saying same thing. I think those are the rewarding things for us, as a teacher.
Yeah.
I agree. It's great to see people come out and pursue what has been their passion and what is their interest. And when we see them be able to demonstrate what we think that they are capable of, learning and performing, right, that gives us great pride and joy. So that's very rewarding. I don't know if it was mentioned before, but our school is also affiliated with an accreditation program.
Oh, really?
In music, right? It's based in India,
Uh-huh.
and so they have certificate level programs at various levels from beginner to advanced.
Uh-huh.
And some of our students have taken us up on our offer of preparing them to take exams for each of those levels. And so we've had a few students who have gone through those certificate level courses, who have taken those exams, and who have become certified in demonstrating proficiencies at each of those levels. They pass their exams, and so that is also a good metric.
Right.
And a way of being able to demonstrate good performance and the potential in excelling in this art.
Right.
So
That's awesome.
that's also been
this
very
year we had-
rewarding for us to see our students perform.
Yeah, this year we
Well,
had
that way.
4 kids
Awesome.
took the level exams, certificate exams, and they just excelled so well, and they got good scores, and so it's happy to see that. And next year, so every year we have like at least 4 or 5 students taking these exams, wanted to take the music to the next level.
That's good.
Yeah.
So is it a blend of theory and
Yes.
skill?
Yep. Practical
Theory
skill.
and practical
Yeah.
portions of the exam.
And we also teach a lot of special needs kids. I want to mention that these kids are so talented, and they do so well in music. They just have the natural talent for music, and it's just rewarding to see these kids sing so well
That's
and
awesome.
perform. Yeah.
So wonderful. So what is something most people don't know about your business?
So recently, for the longest time, I think we had focused just on providing instruction in Carnatic vocal, that's South Indian classical vocal, music, and violin. We have recently expanded our range of offerings to include Hindustani music, which is the North Indian counterpart, but also classical style of music within India. So we are now offering a vocal style for that kind of music, as well as various other instruments, keyboard, harmonium, which is another type of Indian musical instrument, various percussion instruments. So we're really expanding our range of offerings, to include several other styles of, Indian music. And we hope that, interested students will take advantage of that.
And we've also expanding our base. Rather than teaching just in Belmead, we have started teaching in Warren, New Jersey, and Edison too. So we are collaborating with an Indian Heritage Foundation, this temple in Edison. So we're also teaching there. So all these things are happening on the side as well. So we'll be, besides Belmead and Hillsborough, Montgomery, we'll be teaching in Edison, New Jersey, and we'll also be teaching around Bridgewater, New Jersey as well.
And that, because can you both teach all those different types of music, or you accessing additional instructors?
Yes,
to
so
help
what
you
we're
with
doing
that?
is I am proficient in Carnatic violin and vocal, and he's proficient in Carnatic vocal, those are South Indian classical music. So since we started expanding it to include all Indian classical music, both instrumental and vocal, so we have partnered with other teachers around. So there's a teacher who teaches, who's a professional teacher who teaches Hindustani vocal, there's a professional who does tabla, there's a professional who does teach keyboard, harmonium, things like that. I mean, we can be jack of all trades.
That's
you know?
what I was like.
No.
Wow, man.
So
we outsourced to India, actually.
yes.
Some of our instructors
Oh,
come
really?
from overseas.
Yeah, overseas too, because we have students all across the world.
Yeah.
We have students from Canada, we have students, so ever since the COVID started, we expanded it, the virtual learning as well. So the in-person is around, based in Belmead,
Yep.
in Edison and Bridgewater area, but virtually we are all over the world. We have students in Canada, we have students in, in India, so we have across.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
See the benefits of Zoom, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it used
more
to be
convenient.
that we took just
Yeah.
in-person students,
Right.
And then for select, students, we did remote learnings, but obviously that grew exponentially, during the COVID
Exactly.
pandemic, where we resorted to Zoom 100% for all of our classes. I mean, going forward now, we'll be following a hybrid approach because, as my wife mentioned, we do have students who are not local in this area, and I think that's also very helpful for others to know about our business as well. Is that we do not cater to just in-person learning or to teaching students just within this area. Although if they are in this area, they're welcome to come in person, and they're also able to take part in performance opportunities, and when we partner with other organizations or have our school represented at one of their cultural functions, right? But that's not to say that those in other parts of the country or around the world are not able to take advantage of our services as well, because we do offer distance learning.
Right. I mean, we have a website, it's Sruthiswara.com, and we are very active in social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, people can find out through that as well.
Okay. We'll put all that stuff up.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you to both of you for your time today, allowing me to learn more about your business.
Sure.
I appreciate it. And to our audience, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler, Realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty. And if you have a business that you would like to feature, please don't hesitate to contact me at 732-267-1204. Take care. See you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
We want to end this with a small song?
Yeah,
Is it
sure.
okay?
My foot's asleep, so.
Sure. We can sit together. I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure you can. Let's just say JJ. It's a Madhima Shuri.
Which one again?
Vande Mataram. Jai Jai.
Vande
Mataram.
Vande
Mataram. Jaya Jaya Vande Mataram. Jaya Jaya Vande Mataram. Jaya Jaya Bharat. 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 Jaya 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 Vande Mataram. Jaya Jaya Bharat. Jaya Jaya Bharat. Jaya Jaya Bharat. Jaya 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 Vande Mataram. Jaya Jaya Vande Mataram.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Great seeing you.
All right. It was great spending time with you.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I bet.
Manasa
परे सा ग नि ध नि रे गा.